Hello everyone. I wanted to show you my Janome MC1200. It is in the Horizon series, and this is my most advanced and fancy machine, and it is my least favorite one of what I own. But I wanted to go over some of the features so you can see what is available on a sewing machine, and also I'm going to start piecing my Churn Up dashed quilt that I cut the pieces for yesterday. But I don't chain piece, I piece a block at a time. That's just the way that I've always done it. So I'm going to go through and show you some of the features and the settings on this machine on how we would piece with it. So here we go. I'm going to turn it around. I'm using a new camera, so excuse the shakes until I get this down pat and how it works best. But here is my Janome Horizon 12,000. You'll notice it came standard with the large quilting table. I have already threaded it, cleaned it, oiled it, and got everything ready for me to start stitching. It has the AccuFeed foot on. If you notice down here, I have my needles that I'm using. I chose to use a Gross Beckett Universal 80. I have my extra bobbins wound, my thread snips, and the screwdriver to change needles or to do any of the settings. And we come up here, we have all the stitches that are available on this machine, and I can't even go over how many there are. And this machine has an external thread stand for the cones, and we look here and you have your bobbin winder, all the things. One of the great things about this is if you're traveling, you can put your feet that you're using for like your retreat or whatever in the machine, so you don't have to carry all the pieces, which are in a separate box and case. And your thread path, we come down here, we have, you notice the thread snips are here, needle up and down. I even forget what this one does. This is pattern end, reverse, and then you have a start stop button. Speed control. I always use my machine at around 50%. I'm not a speed sewer, but this machine can go quite fast. And then the accessories that came with this machine came in this nice little set, and you have all your feet, bobbins, everything available here. And then you have your second layer, and I forgot, this is the straight stitch plate, but I'm using the AccuFeed, so I don't want to use the straight stitch. This is the bobbin case for embroidery, extra feet. I think these are my ruler feet, and I'm going to use this. This is my magnifying glass so you can see what you're doing. That came standard with this. And then you have lots more tools and free motion quilting. This machine was pretty much an all-in-one package. The only thing that I have bought is a few extra specialty feet, like my ruler foot and some specialty piecing feet. So we'll put this on. And there we go. And now you have a magnified view of your sewing path. This is the embroidery arm here, but it also can be used with your fabric guide. And I'm going to show you how this works as we set up the machine. I'm going to be doing patchwork today. So we go to the menu. You can see these are your practical stitches like straight stitch, zigzag, overlock, the different stitches that are available on this machine. Up here you have various machine settings like drop your feed dogs, needle up down, your tension controls and things. But for patchwork we want to go to our t-shirt menu, and you will get the various menus, and we want to go here to patchwork, and then we want the straight stitch. You don't need a locking when you're stitching pieces, and your seams will cross one another. So, and then we also want to set our needle for up and down for this project, and we want to activate our fabric guide. I changed it to inches already. It was in millimeters, but I changed it for this project because it's piecing. Now you'll see the fabric guide moving in, and we come over here and it's set to 5/8 of an inch, and we're going to go in a quarter at a time, and we want a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And everything is set based on 1/4 inch from the position of the needle. So now I'm going to move the camera and put it in its tripod so I can piece. So excuse the difficulty while we get this set for you so that you can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to zoom in. I need to come down just a little more so you can see. I'll get this down pat. I'm sorry for the confusion, but I think we're pretty much ready to go. So I have these all pre-cut triangles. They're in sets of 2. We just have to make sure our pieces are aligned, and then I want to put my needle down and I forgot to, there we go. We have the hover set, needle down. So now we push our fabric. You'll see the guide here for you to go along. There's a guide on the foot as well. And now when I press, I've already checked out the tension and everything on this machine and set it for this video. So we're all ready to go here. I forgot to say okay to everything, so it will work. Okay, my foot did not grab, so I have an issue. I need to cut and then pull my seam out. I need to fix this. See, it's not perfect. Doesn't matter how fancy your machine is, it's not always perfect. So we'll go in. I'll go in a little further. Then we want our needle down into our fabric, and then you just let the machine do its thing. And I'm using a 1.5 millimeter stitch length, and the reason you want a 1.5 millimeter is because it will not show when you open your seam up from the inside. No matter how you pull it, it will not show your thread through. So we set that aside. Now we want a white and a green one. These are the patterns, right sides together. We match them up. I could have pre-done these sets if I wanted to, but so here we go. You can again see if you pull this, you won't see the thread coming through. Now, do we want our solids out or do we want our roses out? I think solid out. We'll do the roses in. So we take right sides together. And we line up our points. I'm sorry, I came off of camera just a little bit. And all this should match just perfectly. So we get it going, and then we're going to line everything up corner to corner. We want to press to the solid, so I'm going to press it down here, and we keep going, and then we can realign, and we get our corners just exactly perfect, and then there we open it up. We have a perfect block. Now we need to do a solid and another green, right sides together. And move this out of the way. I'm a little fast with my scissors because you have to wait for the machine to stop. So we have this piece. Now we're going to add a blue for our accent to our green, which is right sides together. We get them all lined up perfectly. And we move under here, we line it up. Everything is ready. We press our machine. And one of the things that I like about this machine is the auto hover, which allows you don't have to raise your pressure foot up or down or use a knee lift. It just does its thing. So now we take our pieces and we match them corner to corner, and they should all match perfectly because I used an AccuQuilt to cut my pieces. So they're all the perfect proper size, and you can see those perfect edges. And AccuQuilt's slogan is, better cuts make better quilts. So it's just fun. And we want to make sure everything's lined up. So we sew a little along the seams, and then we get everything lined up perfectly. And we want to sew to the solid. So we hold our solid down. And then we're also going to sew to the green as well. This will make it easier. Or we can sew to the blue, because both of these are solid. I'll sew to the blue so they all go the same direction. And there we go. It needs to be pressing, but we have our first churned up dash block, or churned dash up block. What do you think? I think it turned out quite well. What do you think? Needs pressing, but I have 19 more to make. Everyone have a good day, and I'm going to continue sewing, and we'll see what this looks like when it's finished. Thank you again for joining me. Bye.